So in this video, we're going to be talking about parent mindset and some mindset shifts that you might need to make before you go through the rest of this course. So I think this might be the hardest lesson in the course. I hate to preface a video with that, but it's true, so I don't want to sugarcoat anything. With this video, I'm not going to tell you how to parent your kid. Obviously, that's not my place to do that, but I am going to talk about the impact of mealtime mindset on your kids. The reason why I want to have a whole video on parent mindset is because I frequently see families coming into the clinic setting saying like, fix my kid or fix her eating habits, when in reality, the thing that really actually needs to be addressed the most is the parent's eating habits and the parent's mindset. Now, understandably, this can be really hard for a parent to hear, and I'm not saying that your child's eating habits are your fault. You're only a piece of the puzzle. The way that you eat and the way that you parent them is only a piece of the puzzle, but the way that you eat and approach food in your household, aside from any medical issues that your child has, is the biggest impact on your child's eating behaviors. So changing your own eating habits and mindset may be necessary in adjusting your child's eating habits and mindset. So I do want to take a moment to say that some parents could have an amazingly healthy relationship with food and still have children who don't. There can be other external things at play beyond a parent's mindset, relationship with food, or even parenting style. So parental mindset is not the only factor, or parental eating habits are not the only factor that comes into play, but it's the most powerful factor. So I've seen many parents or guardians who don't like this idea and choose to only address their kids' eating habits and ignore their own eating habits. This will result in more difficult or not at all progress with your kids. So although this video is short, this lesson could be one of the longest to actually implement in the course. I want to emphasize the importance of this process because being open to changing your own beliefs and eating behaviors can set a great example for your kids when you expect your children to do the same. So this is going to make addressing your child's eating behaviors easier for you, and you'll be able to speak from experience to them about addressing and changing eating behaviors and why it's so important to you. So some eating behaviors that need to be addressed before working through the rest of this course include parental picky eating. So if you or your partner categorize yourself as a picky eater, working on ways to increase your variety with food, even if you have no desire to do it for yourself, like let your kids be a motivator in that, because parents who are selective eaters are going to, that's going to be an influence on your child's eating habits. I mean, no matter how much you want to raise them with a healthy relationship with food, and you can, just know that that impact or that factor is going to be a part of your child's life and a part of shaping your child's eating behaviors and habits. So other things that you might need to be addressing before working through the rest of this course is a hyper focus on weight or body size, guilt around eating your desserts, and associating morality with food, among others. So again, I'm not saying that you can't continue with this course until these are resolved, because for some people, this can take years to unravel and work through. And some of these behaviors, like they even necessitate the involvement of a dietitian, a therapist, or a psychologist, or a lot of these actually. So I'm not asking you to like immediately do a 180 shift in your mindset, because that is totally unrealistic. And I'm not telling you that your kid can't be a successful eater if you struggle. But I'm asking that before you move on to the course content, you as a parent or guardian or loved adult in this child's life, you are truly ready and open to change and work on these behaviors and mindsets. So side note, a lot of the strategies that we use again in this course for kids, they work for adults too. They may be a little sillier than you would use with adults, but they're also fun. And my 18 or 16-month-old is in the background. He's agreeing with me. So I want to talk with you. Yes, I want to talk with you about the most common concerns that I see when it comes to parent mindset. So number one, my partner is a picky eater. What should I do? So this one is definitely a doozy. This behavior is probably not going to change right away, and it won't change before you start the course content. But what is important here is that both parents, if there are two in the household, are on the same page when it comes to willingness to try new foods. I'm not asking the picky parent to eat new foods. I'm asking the picky parent to engage with the food in ways that you want to model for your kids. So this includes touching the food, talking about the food, playing with the food, cooking, or preparing the foods that they might not necessarily want to eat. Putting the food on your plate, not using any negative language around the food. So we do talk about food language in this course. So I have a whole video on that. Oh, okay, hold on. I gotta take a pause here to get more Cheerios. Okay, back. So we do talk about food language in this course. For example, I'm gonna ask the picky parents to avoid saying things like, I don't like that, or that's gross, or ugh, why are you making it, to another adult in the house. Some alternative phrases include things like, no thank you, that's not for me. Wow, mom worked so hard on this dinner, even though I didn't taste it, I still smelled it, and I think it smelled really good. One more thing I wanna add before we move on to the second most common concern when it comes to parent mindset is this. These introduction techniques, again, this is reiterating what I've mentioned before. These introduction techniques and methods of reducing picky eating work on all ages. The difference between adults and kids is that kids are more willing to try new things. So trust me when I say that science is on your side if you are willing to address your selective eating. It's all about being positive and having an open mindset and willingness to try these strategies, these evidence-based strategies that I'm putting forth in the course for yourself. So, number 2, parent concern. My partner is hyper-focused on weight or body image. So this is a tough one too. Changing your mindset or somebody else, or helping someone else shift their mindset about weight and body image can take months or longer to work through with a professional. I've had several clients like this in the past. So, knowing that I'm not asking you to immediately change, because that's not realistic, like before I mentioned, I simply just want to point out in the medical literature, it says that focus on weight in the household can have negative impacts on a child's body image, risk for eating disorders, and relationship with food. So your kids are learning from you about how they should look at their own bodies. So how you look at your bodies is how you're teaching your kids to look at your bodies. If they constantly hear dad saying things like, I don't like this or that about my body, they might start to have these thoughts and phrases too. If they constantly hear dad saying, wow, I love my arms because they let me give you big hugs, your kids are going to mimic that positive talk and mentality. So I have a whole video on language around bodies and food for kids, so definitely stay tuned for that. Now the point is that if you're on a fad diet merry-go-round or you don't feel great about your body, you don't have to change immediately and you don't have to let that affect your kids. You can be working through these issues yourself and still have an outward positive body talk and mindset for your kids to mimic. You can help your kids develop a healthy relationship with food and their bodies even if you don't. But you do need to be willing to put the work in for your own stuff. And working through that to show your kids how important it is, it's a beautiful thing. It really, really is. So there's lots of research that we have, just to add in here too, about like this quick discussion of body size, especially if you have one parent hyper-focused. There's lots of research that we have plenty of other markers that are way more important to determine health or show health than body size. So things like exercise ability, cardiorespiratory fitness, inflammatory markers, mental health, all of these are more important to longevity and health than just body size. So if someone says that they want to lose weight to be healthy, that statement is usually not rooted in truth and science because there's usually other reasons that a person may want to lose weight, and lose weight doesn't necessarily lead to health. Like weight does not equal health. There's other things that affect our health that are much more evidence-based in their correlation. So let's summarize. Parental mindset is the most powerful driving force in shaping a child's eating behavior. If you or your partner or another adult in your child's life struggles with mindset around picky eating or body image, that's something that I encourage you to examine and shift and consider using the help of a professional if you need it. If you or your partner struggle with mindset, many of these tools provided here in this course can help you with that as well. So my biggest ask of you to help you and your family be the most successful you can be in this course is to be open to change when it comes to parental picky eating, parental body image, weight loss attempts, or any other mindset shift, any other mindsets that you have that may be a roadblock for you to helping your child develop a healthy relationship with food and retain or get back to those intuitive eating skills that they are born with. So that is the end of this video. My son's patience is clearly ended. So the next ones will have to be recorded the next school day. But thanks for sticking around with me for this video on parent mindset shifts. It's just kind of like heart to heart between me and you before we get to the meat of the course. So I'm excited to get to the rest of the stuff with you.